Okay, we're live. So happy Saturday, happy Memorial Day weekend, sort of the unofficial start to summer. So welcome everybody. This is the 9th in the series of the Art of the Garnish cocktail party. So cheers to all of you. I've been getting ready. So I think some of you may have seen that I posted on my Instagram account that I was out cutting the flowers and other edibles for tonight's party. And then I had to scramble to get ready. But as we always do, I'm going to start with thanking our first responders because this started off as the COVID cocktail party because we were all needing to stay at home and shelter in place, and I started calling it the SIPs, S-I-P. Supposed to be funny. But we couldn't have done it without those heroes. And, you know, last week's news also highlighted the supers of the buildings in New York, and we certainly have a super, oh no, I forgot my cocktail ring again. His name is Bobby, and his mother lives not too far from us here in the Garden State at our country house, and he brought down our mail for the second time. So they were talking about really the superheroes are the supers of the buildings and really taking care of us all. So, you know, thank you to all of you. It's like we're getting there. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leeann Lavin. I have written The Art of the Garnish and the Hamptons and Long Island Homegrown Cookbook. I'm a horticulturist, a garden designer, and a tablescape designer. So all of these things come together because of the plants. So when you think about obviously the edibles, but also any spirits are all come from plants. So plants, we love our plants, we revere our plants, and plants are our, our friends. Plants heal us. So while this year we may not be having the parades and things for Memorial Day, I thought we really need to also honor our heroes from the armed services. So my husband Bill, who's Marty Scorsese, he's been taking the videos. So he was an enlisted man in the Navy, and so we thank you for your service. I'll start to cry. My father was Navy also. He went in, he was at Cornell during most of the war, but then went on his tour of duty right after. But it was funny, when we first moved to this house that we're in now, and before any of our renovations and things, we wanted to go down and see the Memorial Day parade here in Atlantic Highlands. And it's sort of a big deal. So we don't live too far from town, so we could walk. And my father at that time was still a little bit wobbly, let's say, walking, but going down to the main street, First Avenue. Mommy's what? Mother? Hi, Mother. How are you? I'm telling the story about when I took Daddy down to the first Memorial Day parade here, and we got down to the street because it's a little bumpy, sidewalks and, you know, tree roots and things. But when we got there, it was done. So I said, Daddy, we missed it. But then everybody said, oh, just wait.
Roberta's on.
Hi, Roberta. Are you still in Catskill quarantine? Yeah. So anyway, I was telling the story of when we went down for the first Memorial Day parade here in Atlantic Highlands, and when we got there, they said, yeah, I saw it was over, but then the people said, oh, wait, it'll come back around. So I couldn't understand this, but it goes down the main street, and then it turns around, and it comes back. So it's hilarious. So with all the same verve and vigor and so on, they march down one way, and then they march right back the other way. So we bought a microphone this week, and we're trying it out. So I don't know if it's any louder or if it helps. Does that register with anybody? Does it make the sound better? Otherwise, we're going to keep going. Anyway, the first Memorial Day, you know, like I said, it's not for selling cars and mattresses, but for honoring our service people. But it started in 1868 was the first time at Arlington National Cemetery, and they laid wreaths, you know, at the grave site. So I hope on Monday that most of us can continue to think of what the real meaning of this is and not just sale items, even though people are getting back to buying and things. So despite my lack of cocktail rings, I'll say this is the second week where I've worn real designer clothes. So I have Ralph Lauren on, which is fun. I bought this with Bill's boss when we went to Saks one year. And I always tease, I have another shirt that's a Lauren, but it's an Elliot Lauren. But this is real Ralph Lauren. So before I start in with our cocktails, tell me what y'all might be having for your plans for this weekend, considering all the circumstances, whether you're having a barbecue at home or just close family and friends. But here, I'll show you what I just went out in the garden earlier. It was a very rainy day. I think we had parts of Arthur here coming up, sort of gray clouds, very spring-like, and we needed it because it hadn't rained for a while. But these I cut from our apricot tree. So Bill, you might want to show. I hated to do this, just like I hated to cut the apple blossoms, but you can see the apricots from here. This is the beginning of a rhododendron that's coming out, which is very pretty. It reminds me of like a Southern Bay magnolia. These are beautiful. The fragrance of the lily of the valley is just, incredible. And then moving down, we have, these are the tops of our asparagus. So we've been growing asparagus since Bill especially was enchanted with them when we went to Chanticleer some years ago. So we've had fantastic asparagus ever since. So you can see we've been eating, cooking it, using it with our eggs, our dinners, and so on. This is sage from the garden. You can eat. This is lavage. I love this. It's a little bit like celery. You can eat. We use it in our Bloody Marys. I love. And this is a passion flower. So this becomes part of one of the island drinks that we're going to do this evening. And I planted it some years ago in a hot spot, like a little corner in the front of the house. But the leaves are edible. The flowers, they're just starting to come out. So, we have so much of them. It's so floriferous, so I didn't mind. Our carrots that we'll use in the garnish. So ours are growing. They're not ready. We planted, I think they're called chubbies, which nobody wants to be. But so I had to buy carrots for the use for this. And then here, I don't know if it is working, but it's like the microphone, I'm tethered here, so I'm going. But the hostas I just cut from our garden. And the hostas are all edible, so they're not just for deer.
They're not just for deer anymore.
Oh dear, they're not just for deer. And they're delicious. They taste a little bit like salad greens and asparagus, sort of a combination of lettuce and asparagus, so you have to try that. And the carnation. So these are store-bought from the grocery store. So I think you all know that it can be really fun to just get inexpensive plants if the florist isn't open or you can't get some of the more exotic things that you want. But, you can look for interesting plants. Now, this I sent away for. So this is Althenus. It's a marshmallow plant. So I'm going to plant them in containers so I can more readily get at the roots of it. And I gifted one to Gina. But the roots of them is where the original marshmallow came from. So they took the roots, cut them, smush them, so we'll have a whole thing on that later in the season. Okay, so now I have to look at the book because these are not my two drinks, but I was introduced to these two mixologists by Jessie Wallers, my niece, and she's an extraordinary mixologist herself and knows so many people, and she's the general manager at Leeann in Brooklyn, who really are responsible for really promoting and starting, I would say, the cocktail culture craze, especially when it comes to island or tiki drinks. So this one is by Ryan, the older when he was there. You can see it's called Island Time. Don't look at my nails, they're so bad. We did so many plantings this week for garden clients, and despite wearing gloves, and there's gloves for everything now, but we also gave Bill a haircut, so I'll share that a little bit, how we did that this week. That was pretty funny, our first haircut. All right, so here this island thyme. He says, the island thyme is garnished with a cobra's head to honor the drink that served as its inspiration, the cobra's fang, which according to Ryan is the cocktail that really got me into tiki. So it's kind of like a tiki drink for him. So here I've pre-measured some of the fresh lemon juice. So I'm pouring this in. So lots of citruses in tiki drinks, which is not a surprise. So we got some passion syrup. So that was a little bit of a challenge to be able to get that. So going forward, I'll have my own passion syrup, as you know, from our passion plant that's along the front of the house. Okay. Then there's almond liqueur, and that is also in the book on how to make it. So you just take your almonds, you roast them, and then you mix it with a simple syrup. But for this, I'm using a pre-made almond liqueur, the Orgeat, you can get. And then this Velvet Farnham, I love this. This is like from Barbados. It's like a real sugar.
Caitlin's watching.
Hey, Caitlin, how are you, darling? So I love this. It's just as smooth as can be. And if you like tiki drinks or rum drinks, I think this one is for you. And it's kind of readily available. I mean, I was very disappointed. So now we need lots of rum. Okay. So here we have half ounce of this rum. This is like 3 different kinds of rum in this one, which is really, I know Eric Lambert, he loves rum and tequila, right? So, oh no, Angie loves the rum, so I have to think what people like. All right, so we got the white rum, and then I have this is the Bacardi Gold rum. Some of the rums, that are in the book, if you can't get, you can substitute other. And then this is really good. I mean, this could be sipping rum. I mean, this is an estate rum. It's like really fantastic. Okay, Appleton. It's called Appleton Estate Rum. So we're going to put a little bit more in there. I always think of rum as like summer drinks, I think, in a way. And I'm going to learn even more. One of the key bartenders, mixology, well, I guess he's a bartender too. He puts a little bit of Angostura bitters in it, but you know what? I wanted to, so this is Angostura, and most people have these bitters at home, but I wanted to try this from Modern Bar Cart. And this tiki one, in it has lime, which is going to be part of the garnish, dried coconut, lemongrass, bitter orange peel, hibiscus, rose hips, spices, and gentian, which I think is great. So we're going to put 2 dashes. 1. So I was starting to say that Josh, Ice and Alchemy, he's doing cocktail classes, and it's $20 a person, which I think is a steal. Oh no, I got some on my book. Okay, so we're going to fill my glass with crushed ice. Where's my glass? This is, uh-oh, I'm tethered again. So I'm coming down this way. All right, so that was the ice. Remember we showed you a couple weeks ago, we had that special ice maker where it makes like the crushed little small ice. Who makes that, Bill? Do you remember? Opal. Yeah, we got that. So thank you all for reading my blog post about how to stock up a bar cart. I got a lot of good response. George Copel, wow, your friend from Ireland, that was incredible what they make. Okay. All right, so you got a nice little pink color, so the same. And then here's the piece de resistance. Careful. So here you can come in, you can see the cobra head. Oh, the other reason why I wanted to use the, there's 2 different, so Bill made this cute little tongue for the cobra.
From a radish.
Oh, it's upside down. Oh well, for the radish. But I also thought it would be fun to use. And you can play with this. So that's the beauty of a cocktail culture. But using the carnation, and carnation has a very clove-like, just like the smell of it has a clove-like flavor to it. So you could use that as the mouth also, so it all sort of goes together. But here's a pretty, pretty drink, right? I love that. All the flavors all blend together. So you've got the different kinds of rum, you've got the almond, you've got the sugar, the velvet falernum. It's a product of Barbados. Sorry, I said Bahamas, I think. That and the passion flower. So you could also put this into your garnish, eventually with the passion flower going into, because you can eat all of them. All of the edible plants at one time were considered very almost they're medicinal. So that's where the pharmaceutical companies get them.
Jordan's watching.
And the idea of, hi Jordan, my fashion girl, I don't know if you were on earlier, I was talking about the clothes and the fashion. So this was a Ralph Lauren. This is for Memorial Day weekend. And we have our red jewelry and red, white, and blue jewelry on also. But this first drink is Island Time. So we've got the cobra head, the lime, the clove, the dianthus or the carnation picks up on that. And you got that over crushed ice. So it's really fun to make. So you think about the seduction of a cocktail and how beautiful it is. You take the time, you put it together. It's fun for your guests. It's fun exploring, different things that you can eat and drink. So this is the first one, and I'm going to be sipping this while I make the second one. And this one is called, I think, What's Up, Doc? So I'll show you what this looks like. And this is another one of Jesse's contacts. It looks like carrots, that drink. So he wrote, this is the first cocktail that Jelani created for the cocktail menu at Clover Club. Those, again, are the they were at the forefront of this whole cocktail culture in Brooklyn. And Ivy Mix, that's her real name, she just wrote a book also.
Melanie's watching.
Melanie's my girl. She is the CEO of Machu Pisco, and that is the best pisco in the world. And we're going to make a drink with that soon. I've been making the burdock and the dandelion bitters that's going to go with the pisco. And it's just fabulous. And Melanie and Lizzie, her sister, introduced us to so many of the mixologists around the world, from Miami or London or so on. So, we're going to have a ball with that, like maybe next week. We're just sourcing the pisco from them. So, hi Melanie, nice to see you. I was just saying we made this drink here. This is a rum drink. There's 3 different kinds of rum. We've got the passion flower. You can see the cobra head, the radish mouth, or using the carnation, the edible carnation. So this one we're going to make, this is from Johnny. Oh, I started to say, he said, it's the first drink that he made for the Clover Club. And that's where Jesse works. And Melanie obviously contributes so much to their drink menu there because the pisco is so important. He said the carrot greens garnish definitely utilizes the philosophy that Shalani tries to keep in mind when dreaming up a new concoction. He said you drink with your eyes first, and you've heard me say this in past Art of the Garnish events, is that I'm trying not to be tethered too much with my microphone, but the Italians and the French have a saying that you eat with your eyes first. And I think the same thing for the garnishes is that when you smell the citrus or the flowers or the edible fruits, it excites your senses. Oh, yeah, my family's like they're on there texting each other and so on. All right, so here we have the rum. We're going to use this estate rum, which is really great. Okay, so my family, they're just going to keep going. Tell me what your plans are for the holiday weekend, folks. Are you doing barbecue? We just ordered some more meats from D'Artagnan, so we're lucky to be able to have that opportunity. And hopefully the weather's going to be nice. I don't know. Do you know, Bill, if it's going to be good? All right, this is some fresh lemon juice that I already measured out. This is some orange juice. Let's see. I have to look at the recipes because these are two that are not my drink. Okay, so I have a small with the orange juice. I think summertime, so much of them is like more of the citrus drinks that go along with it. This one has ginger, the maple syrup. Now, my cousin who used to live in Vermont, they tapped their own trees, and they used to send us as gifts. Even my niece Lauren Erickson, for her wedding, she had fresh maple syrup. People often ask me when they travel to Europe, what can they bring as a gift? And I'll say, take maple syrup, because from the Americas, that's something very unique to us that the Europeans don't have. This is fresh ginger syrup, simple syrup that I made. And it's simple syrup you can make from anything, any edible flower. In the past, we've made, for the Art of the Garnish events, we made it with lilacs, and we had the lilac garnish. I had the tulip petal garnish. You can have ginger, vanilla, anything can be made into a simple syrup. So here we got the maple syrup, orange juice, the ginger simple syrup, and then we have the rum and the carrot juice. So we did this fresh carrot juice that Bill whipped up. So this is all fresh. No, I think they're doing it on purpose. All right, so carrots are my favorite, and it's a cold weather vegetable. It can't be grown in tropical areas, so it's interesting that he made this to go with it. But it's naturally sugary. It needs a cold weather to grow. And they come in all different colors, so you don't have to have just orange. There's purple, which is beautiful. Okay. So I think those are all the ingredients. So here is another bitters that I wanted to use from Modern Bar Cart, the aromatic bitters. So a dash.
Show them the front. The front.
That is the front. That's the front. It just has a little label. So they're from Modern Bar Cart, so you can see that. So a dash. Okay. Then I'm going to put the top on. This is like my everyday that I use to make my martinis, dikes, and my Manhattans. Unfortunately, I got my local liquor store to stock the Dolan vermouth. It's very botanical. I love it. So we get both the white and the red. And then when I went today, he didn't have any. I mean, I'm the one that got it for him. Okay, so here we're going to fill it with some crushed ice also. This is in a Pilsner glass, so that's a little bit different. Usually I love the up glasses and martini style glasses. Hey! So again, we made this ice in that special ice machine that you saw last week. They make the little pellets, and it's really good for everything from a mint julep to, this kind where you're really packing in the ice because they're small. I'm really pushing the limit, right? All right, we'll let that one go. Okay. Oh, it's going to be a little bit shy. But here, just to put it on top, is that, so now, what Lonnie says is you can put the carrots in for the garnish, but I also wanted to put in the hosta leaf. So I think this is really fun. So this could be so beautiful, you see. This has a taste like lettuce and a little bit like asparagus. The other thing, if you don't know, but you can, the carrot tops make fantastic pesto. So you can eat all of this. This is all edible and good for you. Okay. So now I got to take a little bit out just to be able to drink it. But here, I was eating these this morning. Cheers. I thought this would be a good drink because over the long weekend you might be doing a brunch just with your immediate family. If you're by yourself, you should treat yourself and have some. So instead of the usual Bloody Mary. Carrots, good for you. Oh, that's so light. I'm guessing that some of you might think that the carrot might be heavy, but it's absolutely not. It's very, very light. It just reminded me. So I made these napkins last year from denim, but these are the Art of the Garnish napkins that I got from Etsy. So I talked about that in the blog post about how to set up a bar cart. So there you go. You got two really pretty drinks. I'll do one quick reading if anybody has any questions, but I just wanted to highlight this that talks about the vegetables as a garnish. It says, a celery stalk has become such an integral part of the Bloody Mary that at this point it would be fair to call them a married couple. You wouldn't think it, but this ubiquitous green stalk has a long history as a curative, with its medicinal use noted as far back as Homer's Odyssey. Knowing that it was long used to treat colds, the flu, maybe it's good in the age of corona, digestive ailments and issues with water retention, it makes sense that someone looking to take the edge off their hangovers with a Bloody Mary would add a celery stalk as an additional restorative. But this happy union appears to have occurred entirely by accident. Legend has it that during the early 1960s, a customer at Chicago's famed Pump Room, which unfortunately closed in 2017, couldn't wait for his server to bring him a swizzle stick for his Bloody Mary. So he's quite plucky, I guess, and he takes matters into his own hands, and he snatched a celery stalk from a nearby tray and was smitten by the element it added to the drink. And just like that, the celery stalk became essential, clearing the palate and providing a much-needed hydration after a night of drinking. Other vegetables that work wonderfully as garnishes are asparagus. And again, this is the asparagus from our garden. Where'd it go? Oh, it's in my drink. Yeah. Peppers, from jalapenos to pepperoncini. Artichoke hearts, pea shoots. Oh yeah, our peas are coming up. That's going to be great. And pods, onions, potatoes as French fries or tater tots, cucumbers and carrots. And though it is not technically a vegetable, mushroom garnishes are rising in popularity. It seems there are as many mushrooms as stars in the sky, offering a spectrum of colors from a blue oyster or a white button to the bright salmon hue of a brain mushroom. That should set a garnish savant's imagination ablaze. Offering structure, style, and taste to a savory cocktail, it's well worth foraging either in the woods or at your farmer's market or in your own garden. So that's our Memorial Day weekend Art of the Garnish cocktail party. So I hope you all will celebrate and honor our heroes, both the healthcare heroes and our armed service heroes, those that are serving in the service. They're both delicious. You're going to love it. Can you see how pretty they are? I love you guys. Cheers.